Good friends, let's keep going with our web application. In the previous video, we created this view and we want to handle this results in the backend. Let's go to the post controller and to specifically in the store method. Here we are going to first, I didn't mention that in the previous part because I didn't want to overwhelm you with so many information. So in this part of this series, we are going to validate the data that we are getting from the user. We are not going to be so kind and think that the user will be so kind with us and submit all the fields for us. We are going to make some validation on these information to make sure that they are correct and they are submitted, because if the user didn't submit the body, for example, it will harm our code and it will throw an error, and we want to prevent that. So to do that, we are going to do the following. We're going to make a data variable, and we are going to get the request that is passed here, and we are going to validate the data. We're going to use the validate method in the request, and we're going to open an array, and let's close this with semicolon, and inside here we are going to validate these fields submitted to us. The user will submit only two parameters, which are the title, and will submit also the body. So the title will be like this. We will type here the rules for the validation. If you go to the documentation, let's go to the documentation together. Let's type Laravel validation. You will find this thing in the, I hope that there is, okay. Here are the rules for validation. We will only use the required. Where's the required? We will use the required, but you can use the, for example, the email to check if the input is email, and you can use a max to check if the input is within a range of characters. And there's something to check the file extension or the file type, or to check if this is a file, if you are submitting files, image file, and you have something like nullable, and a lot of useful things, and password, I guess they use it to confirm the password, and very useful things. And also you can make customizable rules if you wanted to, but these are the default rules that comes with Laravel. We are only interested in the required rule. So to use it, you will type the string quotations and you will type here required. Okay, if you want to use something else, just use, for example, like this, email, and it will check those both rules. But for now, we are going to use the required only, and let's make another one for the body, and it's required also. Now it will validate, and if there is anything went wrong, it will not pass this point of the code. So let's try this together. Let's go to the, oh, we didn't configure the action. The action is, as we see in the route list, if we want to store the post, we just want to go to posts with post method. So the method will be post, and we will go to posts. Okay, this value here, posts, have came from the route. We typed here posts. So if you want to type anything else, it will appear here as a base path. So did we configure that? Yeah. And let's refresh that. Let's just submit. It will not do anything. Let's try to submit without them, and hopefully we will get an error. Let's refresh, and we got nothing because the the function is empty. Let me show you the error, but first we will have to create the post and submit the post. Okay, so let's create a new post, and to do that we will use the new keyword and post without 0, and we are going to insert the data from the user, which are the post title equals to request title, and let's copy this twice more because we have the user ID. I will show you how to get the current user ID. Body and user underscore ID is going to be something like an auth. This comes from Laravel, auth and then ID. This class is in Laravel to get any data related to the current user. So the authenticated user, I'm telling Laravel to give me the authentication user. It's like this. Okay, we are using a class in Laravel. So give me the authenticated user, and give me this and fire up this function in the authenticated user class, which gives you the ID. You can also return the user, okay, to get the username, but for now we are going to return the ID. And when we use something like this, we have to define it in the using section. So we didn't define the product, so let's define this as well. Post, sorry, and let's use also the auth. Okay, you use it like this without any path. Let's save this file and continue our journey with creating new user. Let's now save this user, and this thing will fire the error. Laravel will claim us that something is null, and I can't submit the row with this value null because you didn't tell me that this value is nullable. So let's save. We don't save like this. Post. All right, save and semicolon. Don't be mad at me, code editor. And now let's go to the page and head back and refresh this and submit, and we got an error. It's telling us that the column title cannot be null. Okay, let's set the title. Okay, I will not, my title. Okay, let's submit. The body can't be null, so it's going a bit by bit. So it catched the error here, and we catched that error, and then it throwed the error here. And if we catch that error as well, it will save this record. But to prevent that, we are going to return this code back, and we are going to refresh, or let's just submit this form with the blank body, and you will notice that it didn't do an error, okay, but it didn't save anything in the database, and this is awesome. You don't want your application to throw error to the users, so they will not understand what is going on. You want to prevent them from seeing that purple or any error. In the production projects, the purple page will not appear for them. You will set it to false. It's a debug for the developer to know where the error is. So with this line of code, it will return them back to the previous page. But there's a problem now. The user doesn't know why the code is not, or the post is not submitted, or why the post is not read by the system. We will type a message to the user that something is wrong. Please double check your code or your credentials or your data you are inserting in our system. Let's go to the app blade. Okay, where's the app blade? It's in the layout app. And right below the nav bar and inside the main, I want to display something. So this code returns something like an error to the blade. Okay, so we want to read this error. So we want to check first if there is any error. So we will type an if statement here, and we will get the errors. Oops. We will get the errors. Okay. And we will check if there is any of these errors. And we will close this if statement. Okay. If there is any error, we are going to use the alert class in Laravel, in Bootstrap, sorry, and we are going to use the alert danger. Okay, so inside this danger alert, we are going to loop through for each. We are going to loop through the errors. We are going to get the errors all as error, and for each. And here we are going to output this error as a p tag. And let's close this p tag, and let's go to this page and refresh, and we are seeing that the function named must be string function name. Where did I use a name? Function name. If I remove this, where did I use the name? I think that the error is here because you can't use. Okay, we are cool. So if we submit, we will get this error. The title field is required and the body field is required, but it's ugly. Let's put it inside a container. You know what? I'm going to for each the alert, so it will be much cooler. I don't know why I did this. Let's check this out, and okay, we got something much cooler. Now we have the title field is required and the body field is required. If we type anything in the title, we will get only the body field is required. Otherwise, we will have the message that we will create right now. So let's head back to the controller again. And to recap, we received this request and we validated this request. If these rules are true, then the code will move on, and it will create a new post, and it will submit this post, and it will save this post. So after that, I want the code to return a success message that you saw in the second video, or the third video, I think. So to do that, we are going to use a new thing also. It's called the session. And the session is a class in Laravel. It's basically in every web page, but Laravel customized this class to use it in our side, in the developer side. So we have the flash function in the session class. Okay, and when we use this green thing, on when we use a class in Laravel, we have to define it up here. So we will use the session here, and let's scroll down to the flash. This flash method or function takes two arguments, which is the name of the returned, or the name of or the key of the message, and the message itself. So we will call this name as success. Okay, so when it's success, I will display a green message on the user side. And let's type post is added. Thanks. Okay, so this success message will be added to the session and will be sent back to the user's page. And finally, let's redirect to the posts view. Return redirect. It was here, I swear I saw it. Redirect to the posts. Okay, so if we wanted to see this page, for now, let's return the page first, the posts. Let's return the view, which is located in posts.index. And we want to get all the posts from the database. All. And I'm going to send them back to this view. Okay, so if we go to this lovely page, where is it? It's in the posts. I didn't create the index yet. We will have this lovely page, and let's copy this lovely code and let's paste it in the index, and let's leave it blank for now. Let's just type an h2 saying posts. For now, I want to show the message here. The message will be up there, as we saw, because the section starts here. Okay, and in the app blade, it's up here, and the content is here. Okay, so let's now, what did we do? If we submitted a new request, a new post, we didn't define the success message yet. So we want to define a new if statement here to check if the success is in the session. And to do that, we are going to make a new if statement. If session and double colon. And we want to say has, okay, does it have a success key? If it does, then it will enter this if statement, end if. And if it doesn't, it will not enter this and it will not do anything. So let's copy this and let's change it to success, and let's change this to session get success. Notice that we used the same thing we used in the controller here. It's this variable. Okay, so let's now refresh this and hopefully it will work. My post, this is my post, and let's submit. And the body field is required, I think, because we didn't add the name here. Okay, so name, body. Let's refresh, and my post body is here, bro. Right, let's submit. Okay, the variable post isn't is undefined in the because it's posts. Okay, so let's go to the controller. I make a lot of typo mistakes. If we refresh, it will submit another post. Okay, it submitted the post. Let us check. It submitted the post, but it ignored our message. So let's resubmit. My second post. This is the second try. And we got the message from the system. So now what we are going to do is we want to place everything in the index function, and we are going to go to the index file, which is located here, and we are going to play in this section. Let's make first an if statement to check if there are any posts, because if we didn't make this if statement, we will have an error if the posts are empty. So to do that, we will count the posts. Okay, remember we are receiving here a posts. Okay, so we are count them. If they are greater than 0, which means that we have posts in here, then enter this if statement. Otherwise, just ignore it. Okay, and don't view anything. Now we are going to loop through the posts. And to do that, we are going to do a for each. Posts as post, and we are going to end for each. All right, and we are going to loop through the posts. So whenever we finish this for loop, we are having a new post. So let's make a card here, which will be a div card. And inside this card, we will have the card body. Okay, and inside this card body, I want to display the title. So remember, here we have the post title, the post title, post title. Let's close the h3, and let's now just make a small tag and put inside it the created at created_at. Let's close this small tag, and I do press Control S every once a while if you noticed that. And let's now create or output the body of the post. Let's use the paragraph tab. Post body. Awesome. So now we will have each post in a different card. So let's refresh this thing, and hopefully, yeah, we go. Oh, they are so small. Why are they so small? I think because of this thing first, and also we want to make a margin here. So margin, I will use Y and 2. All right, perfect. So we have the first post and the second post, and these are the bodies of these posts. So now what we are going to do is I want to make the buttons that will appear in each post. Okay, so the show more post, the show more button, and also the edit and delete buttons. So let's head to the end of this card. Let's skip the inside the card body. I will create a row. Actually, let's create another row here, and let's create a column of 12 to be a full width card body. And let's now do another row here. So it will be here as a row, okay? And it will be another row underneath it. Row. And let's do a column. 12. And let's use here a text right to be right-sided. Text right. Okay. And we will place our lovely buttons here. Okay. So if we are the Auth user, or we own this post, we will show these buttons, which are the if post ID equals to the auth, if you remember this, ID. So we got the ID of the user. So if that user owns this post, it will enter this if statement. And we will show these buttons, okay? If not, we will not use an else here. We will just output that other button, which will be an href of something now. Just leave it as blank, and let's style this button btn primary, and let's close this and let's type read more, and let's copy this and paste this twice here. Warning and danger. It will not be like this, the danger one. It will be a form because it's a delete, but for now just leave it like this to be place holding the area. And let's rename this to be edit. Let's check the result to see. Okay, so we have a very lovely thing right here, but let's just give it some margin. I think mx, I will give it a 2, and also a my as 2. Let's see. So awesome. So I think that we will cut our video right here, and we will continue our lovely, amazing project in the next video. Bye.